You'd think a man who served 2 tours in Afghanistan and earned a Bronze Star wouldn't TB gun down on his own front lawn. You'd think his uniform would protect him. But in a quiet Mississippi town, Staff Sergeant Elijah Brooks was shot not in a war zone, but in his own driveway by a cop who swore he feared for his life. And what happened next in court? No one could have seen it coming. Elijah wasn't a threat. He was a protector, the kind of man who helped kids fix their bikes, who stood respectfully during the anthem, even with bad knees, who said yes ma em and no sir like he was still in the army. After retiring, he settled into a slow life with his wife, Denise. They'd moved into a small home near her aging mother, hoping peace would replace the sound of gunfire and helicopters. But peace, it turns out, is hard to find when your skin color speaks louder than your military record. It was a Sunday. Denise had gone to church early. Elijah stayed behind to fix the mailbox that had been knocked over in last night's storm. He was wearing old jeans, a faded hoodie, and had a small tool belt slung over one shoulder. That's when the new neighbor called the cops. She didn't recognize him. Said a large black man was tampering with mail and possibly armed. 2 cruisers pulled up fast. Elijah stood, hands away from his body, hammer in one hand. He said, "This is my house. I'm fixing my mailbox." But Officer Grant Henderson wasn't listening. He saw the tool belt, the hammer, the hoodie, and fired. Once, center mass. Denise came home to flashing lights, a blood-stained driveway, and officers telling her they were sorry for her loss. They called it a justified shooting, claimed Elijah lunged, said the hammer looked like a weapon. No body cam footage was ever released. But Elijah's neighbor across the street had a Ring camera, and the footage it captured didn't show a man lunging. It showed a man confused, calm, then collapsing as a shot rang out. Denise begged for justice. She filed complaints. The department put Officer Henderson on administrative leave, with pay. The story hit local news. Civil rights attorneys got involved. And 6 months later, a rare thing happened. An officer was indicted for manslaughter. The trial was set. Again, in that courtroom, a storm was coming. Officer Henderson came in clean-shaven, wearing a well-tailored suit and a look of polished grief. His lawyers painted him as a good cop in a dangerous moment. Split-second decision, they repeated over and over. They said Elijah had a history of PTSD. They said war made him unpredictable. They said Henderson was just trying to make it home to his family. But Elijah's defense didn't rest. Because they had the Ring camera footage, they had Denise. And they had something even more powerful, Elijah's voice. Weeks before his death, Elijah had recorded a video diary as part of a veteran support program. In it, he said, "I've seen war, but nothing prepared me for coming home. I still look over my shoulder, not for enemies, but for the day someone sees me and doesn't see a man. It's just a threat." Those words played in the courtroom, and no one moved. Not even the jury. The prosecution rested. The jury deliberated for 9 tense hours, and then the judge returned. But before he read the verdict, something unprecedented happened. The judge paused. He looked directly at Officer Henderson and said, "There are moments in this courtroom when the law and justice are not the same. Today, however, they will be. The verdict: guilty." Officer Henderson was sentenced to 25 years without parole. Gasps filled the courtroom. Denise wept quietly, clutching Elijah's old dog tags. And as the court cleared, a veteran in the back stood and saluted the seat Elijah once occupied. Soon, others followed. Not out of protocol, but out of respect. Denise founded a nonprofit called Honor Not Fear, aimed at protecting veterans of color from police brutality. The Ring camera footage became part of statewide training for de-escalation. Elijah's name joined a mural outside the courthouse not as a victim, but as a man who gave his life twice. Once for his country, and once for its conscience.